On your mark, get set, go. In this video, I'm going to review the 3 different types of Facebook audiences. Here we go. So, hi, this is Tina Powell from C-Suite Social Media, and welcome to my channel. We help financial advisors to grow their practices and get leads using digital marketing and social media. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please do so. We do these videos every Saturday. They're called 6-Minute Saturday to give you the most amount of information in 6 minutes on your Saturday, and you can view these videos when you want. Today we're going to talk about Facebook audiences and how they're different from Facebook ads and the 3 different types of Facebook audiences. So let's get to it. Let me share my screen. You know the drill. By the way, it's really super cold here. Super cold in Northeast New Jersey. Boy, are you lucky if you are somewhere warm right now. So again, I'm going to get to the Facebook core Facebook audiences. Give me one quick second and let us share the screen. I got to get a little bit better at these switches and these toggles, make them go a little bit faster. Okay, so here we are. Let's talk about Facebook audiences and how they're different from Facebook ads, because there is a big difference and they're really important. Important for financial advisors to know the difference between the 3 different types. So when we talk about audiences for Facebook, we are talking about either a core audience, a custom audience, or lookalike audience. It gets really, really super complicated when you're in Facebook to actually create these audiences. But what I want you to understand as a financial advisor is that these audiences, the different methodologies, why we create them. Well, we create audiences because we want our ads to be seen by a particular group of people. Ideally, people who our message resonates, who we have a service offering where they can benefit. So let's kind of run through a little bit of an example, and I think that this will help you to envision what the difference is between the ads and the audiences and why they're important to your practice. Facebook ads, when we talk about Facebook ads, the interesting thing is that they can appear in lots of different places besides Facebook. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, which is the mobile communications app, the mobile messaging app, and what's known as the Audience Network, which is basically a collective network of people who work or embassies who work with Facebook, where your ads might be seen. But now, why does that relate to audiences, and how is that important? Well, Facebook ads are where when we speak about ads, it's where they appear. If you're in Facebook on the desktop version, that could appear on the right desktop, or it can appear right within the feed. If you're on a mobile device, that could also appear in the feed. So those are probably ads that you're quite used to. Now, let's talk about audiences and why they're important. Well, audiences in Facebook actually define who we want to see the ad. So I have it right here. Who sees the ad? 3 different methodologies. The first is building a core audience. That means that we're going in and we're defining the audience by location, demographics, interests, and behaviors of the type of people we want to reach. Let me go into Ads Manager and let me show you how we might create a core audience if you are a financial advisor. So right here, I'm in Ads Manager. Obviously, you're going to create these these audiences. You need to have a Facebook ads account. Right now, I'm in my Ads Manager account in C-Suite Social Media. And here, I'm creating a new audience. So let's just pretend that I'm a financial advisor. I have over here New York. Let's, because I am in New York, actually New Jersey, where it's freezing cold. So here, let's talk about the type of people. Let's say that I have a practice in New York that caters to women, but specifically services women and widows. So here in the demographic data, I might define the data set as follows: age, gender, right? That's self-explanatory. Women over the age of 50 and near 65 who speak English. But now here's where it gets funny, and where it gets fun. And funky, where a lot of people don't see. You don't see the back end of Facebook. So let's do this. So I'm going to add, keep in mind that our potential reach will go down as we add more and more variables to the audience. So I'm going to put in widows. widow. And then I'm going to put in net worth as well. Where did that go? Okay, right over here. Let's give it a net worth number 2. Okay, and let's also say that most of my clients drive a Lexus. Okay, you can basically see how you can start to define. That's an example of a core audience. So I will build that audience for a financial advisor, and we'll take that audience and we'll save it. So any of our future campaigns will use that audience, and we'll measure it against other audiences as well, and to see who is actually clicking on the ad, who's seeing the ad, and whatnot. Now I'm going to segue to the next type of audience, and that is a custom audience. Remember, we are talking about who is seeing the ad. This is where it also too gets really, really fun and interesting. So what a custom audience does is it actually allows a financial advisor, or anybody, you don't have to be a financial advisor, the ability to input data into Facebook, and Facebook will actually match it with the data that it has. For example, let's say that I have my email list, my email newsletter list. I can actually upload that to Facebook, and Facebook can create a custom audience. They will, in their proprietary ways, find an audience. Now, you don't get to see who's actually in that audience, but it confines the group. It builds that audience to a group of people. So then I might also build a custom audience of people who liked my page. There's another really cool feature about Facebook, and that is building an audience based on who has gone to your website, and that's known as a Facebook pixel. That's right over here. It's a little snippet of code. So I am running overtime, as usual. Apologize for that. 6 Minute Saturday might actually have to become 7 Minute Saturday is what I'm learning. So the last type of audience is what's called a lookalike audience. So lookalike audiences, Facebook allows marketers to find new audiences of people. So let's say that we have that group of widows that we started from our core audience, and that's pretty much working. We can find a lookalike audience of people on Facebook who actually match that audience, who might be in a different geography, for example. So in our example, we were targeting New York. So we can say to Facebook, do us a favor, take that core audience, create a lookalike audience of people who match those characteristics just in a different geography. So that would be an example. So that allows, you can also create a lookalike audience based on existing customers, people who like your Facebook page, visitors to your website, and people who engaged in your mobile app. Again, remember that a lookalike audience is something that's not already connected to you and your brand. We are basically carving out a new group of people, but people who match a certain characteristic or set of characteristics, really. I hope that makes sense. And so last few tips to remember, again, I'm running so over, but what I want you to remember are these four points. And the first is that to use highly relevant seed audiences. So as you're creating that let's call it that custom audience of people who have let's say your email list. A lot of advisors, everybody has an email list. Make sure that group of people, make sure that data, the integrity of that data is really, really clear, and that's the type of people who you want to reach. That's what we mean by highly relevant seed audiences. The next is to experiment with audience size. As you enter more and more variables to the equation, the size of that audience is going to contract or expand depending on that characteristic. The next is you're going to use high quality data. Again, not an email list that's been sitting there gathering dust. We want to use data that is fresh and relevant to our business. And the last is to segment your audience. Use one advantage that Facebook allows with these audiences is you could have a ton. I could be in my ads manager and have 15, 20, 30. The big brands have over hundreds hundreds of audiences, because you really want your message and you want your ad to be shown to the right person, the right group, on the right device. And so by having these audiences, you tell Facebook, hey, my ad needs to go here. So that's it. I hope that you've enjoyed this Super Saturday. Again, subscribe to my page, and if you have any questions, tina@csuitesocialmedia.com. I hope you all have a very warm day. Thanks. Bye.